The NAIA banned those made-up humans we just saw that are defending our general population in Seattle, Washington. But the NAIA has the nuts and the brass to come out 25-0 vote and say no more made-up humans can play against our natural-born female. We love it. Why is the NCAA not adhering to the same rhetoric? Like, why do they allow this? They are the big dogs. This is when I talk about the minority controlling the majority. There's no way that the majority thinks that the NCAA should allow Leah Thomas, who has a foot the size of a flipper, to race against natural-born women. It just doesn't make sense. And this is why I truly think there's a fundamental issue when we allow women who we both agree cannot raise a boy and turn him into a man by herself, but yet we're okay with her leading a men of men sports. I just don't see the correlation. I just think there's a cutoff point that we have to draw in the sand at some point. I love the inclusion of women being assistants. I'm fine with that. Being a head coach when it comes to nut cutting time, brass tacks, it's not a nature of a woman to cut you, to make that tough decision. It's just not. It's not a woman's role. That's not what they were. Listen, there's some I know there's some badass women out there. I only fuck with badass women. I want the Chris's and the Lucys and the Jadas and those women like that.
And like Coach Yo, a real one.
Yeah,
she'll cut your ass in a heartbeat, man or woman.
Unbelievable. I only would fuck with somebody that has a strong opinion, but she knows how to be a woman too. Like, I think there's a missing part of this. Like, if we look at the women, like, no offense, we're looking at the women that are playing or coaching. The coach that we just saw that's going from the woman that's going from the G League to the NBA to get an interview, possibly.
Mm-hmm. Former first round overall pick, Lindsey Harden.
Yeah, she looked like a broad I used to fuck with. By the way, she bad, right? Bad broad, bad. Female, fine female, you know what I'm saying? That even makes it worse for me. But when we look at this, I love a confident, sexy woman, no question about it.
She's like a female I used to fuck with. I'm sorry, that's funny. Keep going.
Yeah, bad one. I'm trying to figure out though, like, why would I want that beautiful motherfucker to coach me up? Like, I just don't want that. It's not what a man should have. A man should have a man coaching a motherfucker up. Come home to that beautiful woman.
What'd you say? You said, why I want that what?
This is my rationale, man.
You said, why you want that what, JP?
Why do I want that bad motherfucker coaching me?
Shut your sexy ass up, coach.
I mean, it's gonna get to that.
3-man weave with your bad ass. Come here, girl.
I mean, it's gonna get to that.
I'll pick and roll for you. JB's crazy, bro.
Hey, girl, can you come over to the house and show me how you want that matchup zone to play?
You're insane, JB, for real. See, hey, clap it up for JB, man. This dude is a personality, man. Clap it up for JB. I'm
just saying, dog.
This has been a hell of a week for you. This is a 2-day phenomenon. It's been great. Go ahead and press it, baby. Go. My wife blended her smoothie, so.
Coach Cisco said, hell nah, no female coaches in men's sports. And he said no men coaches in female sports. So
Gino is the 11 rings. We talked about that earlier today. Imagine if we didn't let him coach, how we would miss out on history.
You think a woman could do that with men?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what, though? I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You don't think coach, you really like real for real, like no show. It's me and you off camera. You don't think Coach Joe could coach some men up for real and get them going a little bit? Keep it real, like keep it funky.
Yeah, for like a week or two, and then it'll die out, Smitty. Like, let's be real, it'll die out. There's no knock. You know, I love Coach Joe to death, and we talked yesterday about some of these things. I think it would. She would do it for a couple of weeks, and it would last for a few weeks because it was new. The boys would respect her as a woman who was coaching Division I basketball for Ole Miss, SEC.
Right.
And then after a few weeks, it would be the boys in the room would be the laughing stock nationally, and they would start to adhere to peer pressure. And then the peer pressure would kick in and become too daunting of a task for boys to be coached by a female, and especially in a league where you play versus men, coached by men, it would become too daunting.
That's a good point. I'm not even going to argue with you. I'm just going to give you just have a conversation. So we talked about how, unfortunately, a lot of these college athletes, a lot of black men, let's be real, and unfortunately, a lot of these black men grow up in single parent households. A lot of times they grow up with just that black woman, right? And that's the one who's leading them. In my head, I feel like I'm trying to put myself as an 18-year-old. I would almost have more respect or a more respectful approach for that woman because of my upbringing, number one, but also number two, just being real, knowing the backlash that you could potentially get if you say the wrong thing. Because I couldn't see myself disrespect a woman. We're disagreeing to all that, but I couldn't see myself like, man, fuck you, man, fuck you, Coach Yo. Like that ain't even my personality. And I don't think you would either.
I want you to do a deep dive and go back and think about a couple things if you can remember when you were a young boy. I want you to differentiate what you came and told or cried to your mother about versus what you told your father about. I just want you to think about those two things if you can. What would you go cry to your mom about as a boy? What would you go tell your dad about as a boy? And then tell me the difference is those two things. Because while you think about that, I want to be clear. If a boy cannot be himself around other boys and cannot be a man and talk about his nuts and bitches and go get it and just you cannot ever think in your wildest dreams that you're going to get the most out of another man.
That's real. I give you that. I can't argue with that one. I give you that.
From a female perspective, it just doesn't work. And I didn't know, I didn't think I had to go this deep with you or Matt or anyone else to get you to understand that it's just not it just wasn't designed this way. And we're breaking code, as y'all say, you code switching, you're doing all these things. You can't code switch and be from the hood and then talk about a snitch and talk about code switching and talk about all these things and then not carry that over or correlate it to this situation. Because this directly affects the boys that we're making into men in the world. And I'm just telling you, there is a fundamental difference between estrogen and testosterone. There's a fundamental difference in how you speak to a boy as a man and how you speak to a girl as a man, how you speak to a boy as a woman. There is just a fundamental difference that should not be fucking played with. God did not make it this way. And you are a man of Christ, a man of the Bible.
Amen.
Read the Bible enough. And listen, I'm not like a religious guy.
You come on, you God fearing though. Keep going. You good.
Yeah, but I know the Bible more than most for the fact that I was raised by a crooked Christian.
Ooh.
So not my dad either. So this man would fucking tell me all these things and read me the Bible and all this old shit. Come to find out he was living a fucking lie. He was a piece of shit. So that's when I had a full-on understanding that priests and politicians are the most criminal ass people on this planet, on this earth. And when I found out that I was going to go do my own research and find out if what he read to me was real or not, I said, I'm going to do my own due diligence and go read the Bible myself and read some different books. So I did that as a youngster, and it's still, I know a lot of it. That's why I say some things on the show. The Bible will tell you if you're a God-fearing man who walks by faith, not by sight, which I have tattooed on my right calf.
Mm-hmm.
If we're supposed to walk by faith and not by sight and have an understanding, clear understanding that who controls or runs the household, who in the Bible is the head of the household?
Men, clear cut.
Men
of the household. Yes,
okay.
Of the household.
So the covenant strictly says that in the covenant, the man is the hierarchy, the woman is next, and you shall love your wife more than your own daughter or son.
Yes, facts.
Okay. So if that is the case, how can you come and have even a thought that a woman is now going to reverse the role and take over that particular fucking role and coach men?
Ooh,
how?
You getting deep. So let me ask you this then.
How, homie?
Because we bring the Bible into it then. Let me ask you this then. So, and correct me if I'm wrong.
We're talking about Christianity.
Yeah.
Talk about Christian over here. See, and I'll let you finish.
No,
Finish it, but here's my take on this. People are going at all the people that have questioned the Don Staley take. So Don Staley comes out and everyone says, well, she shouldn't have been asked a political question as a basketball coach. Well, guess what? She shouldn't have dove into the BYU politics when all that race baiting shit happened at BYU. If you're going to play the game, then you have to be able to be refereed in it. And if you're going to be refereed in the game, then you have to take on all comers. You wanted to be political, but when someone asked you a political question, Don, you chose to answer it in a way that you did, and now you're taking heat for it, and now it's a victim mentality. No, you can't play that game. You chose to be political, Don, in your role as a big-time platform. And then when someone asks you a political question, now all the supporters of Don have now defended her saying, why are you asking a political question? Well, you ask Mulkey a political question every day. I don't see anyone bitching about that. So I'm just trying to say, you got to be able to understand that if you're going to play with fire, expect to be burned. And I just don't understand if hierarchy in the Bible says that a man is the head of the household in all things, and he shall love his wife more than his own kids. How can we hand men, our own kids, over to a woman who's not even the head of the household and expect them to be men?